Hi, guys. So, welcome back to Studio 124. I am now sitting with Ethan Quant, and today we're going to talk about sales strategies. So, Ethan, do you care to give us some sort of background with sales?
Um, well, my first real job while I was in college was in banking,
Yeah.
and so as a frontline teller, we often were charged with the task of cross-selling different things, whether the bank was having a credit card promotion or a loan drive or whatever. And so I was in that sales environment very early in my professional career. But the reality is that I've been selling my entire life. Just selling people on ideas and selling, especially with my mom. I think she was the my toughest person that I had to sell to, simply because I had to sell. I wanted to go by my friends, or I wanted to stay up late, or if I wanted to watch a show because we weren't able to watch TV during the week, and so I've been selling all my life. But when I got into the bank, like I said, that's really where I started really focusing on sales. When I got into loans, it's a sales position. And so that was the first time that I really had targets, like sales targets that I had to meet. And so that's really where I guess the foundation of sales came in. And then when I started my first company, we have a saying that, you only eat what you kill. And so you didn't have the luxury, and I call it a luxury, of getting, that good bank salary anymore. So you had to go out there and hustle, and get people to give you their money. And so,
Definitely.
yeah, definitely. That's really where my background in sales came from. And over time, I've actually invested in coaching and training, and then just trial and error. You learn what works, you learn what doesn't work, and then at the end of the day, sales is all about people, right?
Yeah.
So the more you know, the better you know people, the better you know sales.
Sales is really like a relationship thing. It's not just you making the decision, it's really convincing the other person. So, with that being said, what is the sales strategy that you use now to persuade or, just to deal with business right now?
Well, so my whole philosophy on sales is that I don't try to sell anybody. Actually, I really just try to identify problems that they may be having, challenges that they may be faced with, and then I provide them with a solution. And that's really what we're in. We're in the solutions business, right? And so now it's really just trying to, one, identify as many people as possible with particular problems that we have a unique set of skills and talents here at Lifestyles Digital Media Group to actually solve. And so that's really what it is. And just trying to get as many people to know about us as we can, so that when we do reach out, they, oh yeah, I know who you guys are, and that helps the process. But really, it's just identifying people's problems and providing them with a value-driven solution, and positioning Lifestyles as the best team to actually provide that solution. Best content team in the game.
Definitely. So, as humans, we just have a natural habit of pointing out flaws in everything. So, how do you deal with objections when it comes to dealing with clients and sales?
I'll be honest. I wouldn't say it's something that I struggle with, because naturally, nobody likes to be rejected. I have built up, I guess, a resiliency towards it. But it objections normally come, and I mean, we can get into the whole, like nuts and bolts of the whole
Yeah.
objections thing, but pretty much, people object when they don't see the value in what it is that you're offering,
Yeah.
right? We know for a fact that even though price may be an objection sometimes, or timing may be an objection sometimes, most objections really could be addressed or go away when you present the value, and the client sees the value. And so, really, part of that process of getting them to recognize the value is to educate them. Some of them may not even know that this is a problem, and so educating the consumer is a big thing. And then just making sure that they have the information so that they can make an informed decision, and then have the best possible experience with the team here at Lifestyles as they can. And so I don't take it personally. I used to take it personally. I don't take it personally. I know objections are really just, it just means that I haven't done my job. And so I go back and I try to make sure. And then honestly, sometimes it's just not the right time. It's just not the right time. I have had clients who literally took maybe a year and a half. One of our biggest clients right now literally told me no for a year. And I just consistently followed up. I shared what we were doing, shared how we were growing. And eventually they called and they said, hey, you know what? Yeah, we're ready for you now. And they have literally been one of the best clients that we have had for well over a year now. And so as far as handling, I don't take objections personally. I just, try to be consistent in my follow-up and just try to position, present the value proposition that we offer as best as possible.
I love that answer, by the way.
Thanks.
Definitely. So when it comes to getting uncomfortable, I'm gonna take your line right now. Getting uncomfortable, sales is an uncomfortable thing. Presenting numbers, it's honestly like anxiety, like all over. So how do you get in your element? How do you get in your groove when it comes to making your sales?
Well, honestly, so one of the sales training gurus that I have the privilege of calling a mentor and a coach is Grant Cardone, right? And so Grant has this whole thing that you can only sell to the extent that you yourself are sold. And you can't sell somebody on a high ticket number or high ticket item if you don't believe within yourself that this thing is actually worth it, right? And I mean, when I say that we have the best content team in the game, like I know that we do. I believe that we do. I believe that our client experience or the experience that our clients have is second to none. I believe that we're the most professional. I believe that we produce the highest quality. I believe that we do that most consistently. And so, it is in a situation where I feel like, okay, well, like I believe that. And so it isn't uncomfortable for me. And I had to grow to that point because I used to take it personally, but I really do believe. And also it's like, I care about you, but like, I want you to understand that you will be better off with us. And I don't want you to be frustrated, sourcing vendors for your content, or, you hurting your head and you aren't getting things back, or, you're trying to save a couple of dollars and you're getting subpar service and subpar product. Like I want to save you from that headache. And so like, really for me, I go in with that conviction. I have the utmost confidence in my team. And so it isn't just one dude with a camera. Like you got a full legit team, somebody to handle your questions, queries, and concerns every step of the way. And so my thing is like, because I know that I believe in what it is that we're doing, I do believe that we're the best. It isn't so much that I gotta try and get in the element to convince that. I just have to make sure that I'm properly articulating that to the client, and like I said, properly making sure that the value that we have there's, the client actually sees the value. And one of the things is I tell, clients all the time, oh, well, we don't compete on price. They're like, oh, well, so could do it cheaper. Okay, well, I'm sure you could find somebody to do it cheaper. We don't compete on price. And the reason that we don't compete on price is because I know the value that we bring. And so if I was to drop the price to try and, match with this other person's doing, I'm going to be doing you a disservice. Like the price is the price because this is the value that, this is what we're bringing, right? You could get you could get a steak from the corner store, or you could go to a top steakhouse. The experience is going to be different. The quality of the service is going to be different. The end product is going to be different. So yes, you could find somebody to do this piece of content cheaper, but what is the experience going to be? You know, cheaper isn't always better. In most instances, cheap isn't cheap is actually worse. And so, you know, I don't necessarily get uncomfortable. I get excited, and I also honestly don't try to convince. Like if somebody says, "Hey, you know what? It's okay. That's fine. I know we aren't for everybody, but those people who we are for can vouch for that, and because they become clients for a lifetime, right? Like, you know, we have clients who've been with us literally for the 5 years that we've started. You have clients, so we aren't trying to do a one gig and done. Like we want this relationship because we like to watch our clients grow as we grow. And so, yeah, I don't necessarily get uncomfortable when it's time to pitch the numbers. I just get over it. And I, you know, in the early days, I just used to like come up with a number, and I'd be like, ooh, that's a big number. But that's also projecting, right? Like you count in your pocket. You don't know what's a big number to them. And sometimes I have been like, ooh, so, you know, I have been like, this is a big number. But no, I know. And sometimes I look at that and I like, oh, we if we want to do this right, we need to do this right. And so, yeah, you know, just presenting the numbers, it really doesn't faze me much. And I know we are priced higher than most in the market. But that's also because we're the best. And so I get upset when I find out that we weren't the highest quote presented, because I'm like, that's somebody out there pricing more aggressively. They think they're better than us. But yeah, so like I don't worry about pricing and stuff. I know the value is there, and the work really and the experience speaks for itself.
All right. Yeah, the best, by the way. He's not joking about that. So pretend that I am young Ethan right now, making a sale. What advice would you give me?
Young Ethan, just like have confidence. First of all, do not project your insecurities on them. It's like you believe in what you're doing. Your intentions are pure. Your intentions are to provide top-notch service based on your skill set. And, you know, just have confidence in that, and don't take rejection personally, and understand that every client is not your client. Like everybody out there, you don't have to get everybody. You do not have to, and trust me, you do not want everybody. You know, just focus on improving your skill set, growing your team, taking your time, doing the best that you can do, and price accordingly.
Love that. So last question. What was the most bogus sales advice you have ever heard, ever?
The most bogus sales advice I have ever heard was, I don't know. If I was to think, let me think. What comes to mind immediately is that you can't work on more than one deal at a time. It's like they say, I think that was the worst. Like, focus on just that one deal. Honestly, that one deal will keep you broke. Like, because so what we've actually done is learned how to present multiple deals. This is about, you know, filling your pipeline, right? Your sales pipeline. And so just that would have been the worst. Like, just focusing on that one deal at a time. That's rough. And I think, you know, we definitely don't do that now. Yeah. We focus on filling our pipeline with a lot of prospects, a lot of potentials. We send out a lot more proposals now. But that would have been the worst. You know, take it one deal at a time, focus on one deal at a time. because there are ways, especially with technology, that you can still provide one-on-one service to multiple people.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I think that would have been the worst. Like one deal at a time. No, that ain't got it.
No, we don't do that here at
No.
all. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and knowledge. That was very impactful. I enjoyed every second of it. And tune in next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.